Hi, and welcome to another episode of My Dogs Like My Wife More Than Me
In
in
5D.
5D. I used to go edgy, now I go sad. It's because I'm getting old.
I mean, to be fair, I like your wife more than I like you.
To be fair, most people like my wife more than they like me. I was the self-labeled asshole for many years
I mean,
until
it probably, the ranking at your house probably goes the dogs, your wife, your couch, then you.
no, come on, I've got a PlayStation 5. They like the PlayStation 5 better than
Oh,
me.
that's true. Well, but I
It's
have
hard to
my
get.
own PlayStation 5, so in my heart, buddy, you rate above your PlayStation 5. You
Dang.
don't rate above mine, though.
Well, because yours has all your games. I get that.
Right,
It's the same thing like when I was a kid, I was like, fuck your CD case. It's about my CD case.
right. Weird aside, somebody in the well, I guess I'm gonna call out who I am a little bit, but there is a retro gaming Reddit, retro gaming subreddit that's on there, and
Everybody
somebody
knows you like retro games.
I more meant the Reddit thing. Some people judge Reddit really hard, and I'm like, you can customize the feed and not be involved in the dumb shit, right?
To be fair, like, if honestly, if you don't at least understand the concept of Reddit or what it is and how to use it, you're kind of out of it.
Right. Now,
Your
some
your,
people are
your
really,
grandpa
oh, you're on
Simpson.
Reddit? Ew. And I'm like, at least it's not 4chan. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
Either way, somebody on the retro gaming Reddit suggested a very specific piece of furniture for storing retro games. It is the IKEA Alex. That's the name of the
Okay.
cabinet. It perfectly fits SNES, Genesis, and NES cartridges. And I mean perfectly. It is insane how well those cartridges fit and line up inside of
Hmm.
that cabinet. So I picked one up, got my stuff all put away in there, and because they were, you saw, unfortunately, like our downstairs is a constant work in progress. It doesn't have like nice shelves or anything yet. So it was only like $50 for the Alex. Got that some bitch
Hmm.
ordered. Got everything put in it. Got him up off the floor. It looks so clean. It looks so good.
Nice.
Yeah. The only problem is that the drawers are a little too deep. So if
Oh,
you actually line everything up all the way in the back, you can't actually grab a game from the back. But what I
yeah.
did was I just took the dust covers off of the NES cartridges and laid them down in the back to push everything forward.
Okay.
And like literally those laying down pushes them forward just enough that your back game sits right in front of the lip.
That's cool.
It all worked out so perfect. So
That's
yeah, kudos to
that's
whoever
good.
that guy on that subreddit was that suggested it, because yeah, it's perfect.
For sure. And it's kind of funny they this is so stupid, but the IKEA furniture, the what I had a 5x5, those little cubbies,
Oh yeah, yeah.
really great for comics because you can do two. It's deep enough that you can do two sets of comics for your singles, or you can just fit a bunch of the trade paperbacks. It's great.
You saw the shelves we got, and I love our I say custom made. It's really just custom sized so that it fits your wall better is all it is.
Yeah. It wasn't
Um,
like you were like, and I'd like this stone on this wood.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
it's
No.
like, I get that.
But we did buy some custom size shelves, and I love the shelves, but they are way too deep for comics. There's about 3 to 4 inches of
Mm.
empty space in front of the comics. They still look really clean. They still look great, and honestly, I'd prefer that to them like hanging out or something.
Oh yeah.
But they are way too deep for the trade paperbacks. But they display super nice, and not to be morbid, but my frog, who is always on display behind me, we just realized this year he is 11 years old.
Mm.
Those guys are only supposed to live for like 8 to 10 years, so he old as fuck.
But
So
hey, man, he's
whenever
living his
he,
best life.
I mean, for real, he eats a mouse like once a month and then just naps the rest of the time.
Mm.
It's I go to the pet store and I get him a mouse, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, he only eats like once a month. I'm like, he should eat more than that. I'm like, I know he should. He fucking doesn't. So many mice just die in his tank because he sees them and he's like,
Eh.
I don't want to do that. So I mean, but yeah, whenever he goes, this will get lined with more of those same shelves because we are rapidly losing shelf space for these comics, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Um,
think we're over 550 at this point. We are rapidly approaching 600 trade paperbacks in the collection.
that's crazy. I don't collect trades in general, but there's a couple of series that that I'll pick up.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just because they're so heavy. Where am I going to put them? And they're not cheap. It's not like collecting singles. Like they're $30 a pop unless you do what we do and go to Comic-Con.
That and apparently a lot of the indie guys are catching on to that, and they are slashing the prices on their books.
Yeah, that's true.
Marvel and DC are still the ones who are doing like $22-$25 a trade. A lot of the other guys are doing like $13-$15.
Yeah.
So Image has a new thing. I forget what the set price is, but any volume 1 from Image is now a set price. Doesn't matter how big the book is, doesn't matter how new it is. They are set price for all volume 1s.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
I mean, it is cool as long as they're not fucking you and it's a really short book.
Right. Usually Marvel and DC are the ones who do that. Most of my indie ones are thicker books, but that is not 100% true.
And
actually, can I squeeze in one bit of comic news that I read?
Sure.
Mostly because it's like anti-news.
Bring it in.
So apparently somebody went on a YouTube comment thread and found that Fiona Staples, the artist for Saga, like on my shirt, was making comments in there and happened to mention the return of Saga being fall of 2022, I think is what she had said.
So and that was a year from now-ish.
And that's a big deal because Saga's been on a very long hiatus while they just worked on other projects and caught up and reassessed what they were doing. And then Brian K. Vaughan, the writer of Saga, had to come out and go,
nope.
Yeah, that's not Fiona's account. None of that is real. This Fiona Staples, big air quotes, did basically a whole AMA in this comment thread of like who her favorite characters were and what her favorite storylines and why the return took so long. Just got catfished. It's not her. And he's like, yeah, we do have an announcement. We will make it eventually. And it'll be on a channel much more legitimate than a YouTube comment thread.
Yeah,
it was like
kind of a weird pull.
Probably should have been the first red flag.
Oh my god, that's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So
very much looking forward to that coming back though, because boy did they leave off on a big cliffhanger.
I have to catch up. I feel like I read it all, but I don't remember the last 3 books.
Is it 8 or 9 books?
I have most of them, but I was hoping to pick up the rest at this Comic-Con. Oh wait.
Womp womp womp. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Okay, so let's talk about some shit we've been watching because we've been game heavy lately, I believe.
Oh, did my neighbors call you? That's what I've been watching.
They didn't call me, but the courts are getting involved. I just want to know that. Yup. Actually, I want you to go first because I think yours is funnier. Not necessarily the show, but.
So, you judged me, you bastard. I started watching a show mostly because of comments made about it in another show.
It was a very meta kind of thing, too.
Oh, absolutely. So in Community, one of my absolute favorite shows, we've reviewed it on here a few times, I think.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about how Abed gets obsessed with Cougar Town, so much so that he visits Cougar Town, has a panic attack, and runs off the stage. So that cameo actually happens, and they don't explain it in Cougar Town.
That's hilarious.
It's really like he's there, he's like intensely watching the scene, and then he gets up and runs away, and they just kind of look back and then look forward, and then they cut the scene. So fantastic to catch that. The other thing that I had heard was that it's basically the incestuous sister of Scrubs. A lot of the cast comes back. There's a lot of like similar writing and similar themes. And what I learned through watching the show, through watching Cougar Town, or as I like to think of it, Cougarton Abbey. What I learned while watching Cougarton Abbey is that the worst thing about the show is the name of the show, because it does not describe what happens in the show past season 1. After season 1, no one is a cougar. It literally never happens. None of the characters even really heavily date after season 1.
Huh. I mean...
and it gets so bad that they have a title card gag. So every time like they play the intro, they show the big thing, Cougar Town, and then there's text around it, and the text always changes. Throughout most of season 2, the text just talks shit about how bad the title of the show is.
At least they're aware of it.
Right. Well, and it got to the point where the writers had come out and said, like, we think we would have a higher viewership if we had a different name. The name was very much rushed by producers who just wanted to get the show out in front of people and wanted something catchy. And it's not until the very last episode of the show that they finally get their name change. The final title card is Sunshine State, because it all takes place in Florida.
Yeah.
And yeah, that actually fits the show so much better. But really, so the show stars Courtney Cox. And I think it's even produced by David Arquette, weirdly enough.
They're not together anymore, though.
They're not.
Okay. That is
weird. He does a stint in one episode. But she plays just like a suburban housewife who's obsessed with wine. And other than that, it's just kind of Scrubsy. It's about people living in the suburb and their lives and what goes on with it. The humor is also very Scrubs-like.
Does it share writers?
Yes. Shares writers, shares a production company, shares actors.
Okay.
It's less like cutaway flashback gags, but more just that like quick and quirky kind of off-kilter dialogue that just makes you go, what? But they've already moved on and there's no time.
Yeah.
Like one of their favorite gags is the change approved gag, where the main character just disagrees with common sayings, and so they fix them. Okay. So, like, instead of saying snap out of it, the justification being this. What does this do? That's not going to get anybody to stop what they're doing. So, it should be slap out of it.
I literally just thought that. I was like,
so it's slap out of it. Or, there's one that I always screw up. And I'm hoping it's just going to bubble forth into my mind right now.
In this moment.
Fat Chance and Slim Chance, right? Both of those mean, if you say Fat Chance, it's not going to happen. And if you say Slim Chance, it's not going to happen. They disagree with this. So they decide that Slim Chance is probably not going to happen. It's too slim. You're going to miss it. Where Fat Chance means it's definitely going to happen because it's so fat.
No. I always thought about it as like, fat chance you're gonna catch me, Tubby, or something.
And then the one of the other kick-ass. Getting your ass kicked is awful. Kick-ass is clearly a bad term. So if something is super kick-ass, that means it's really bad.
Okay, I understand the gag.
Yeah. It's a fun gag. They bring it up all the time. One of the other like upside downsides is a character named Bobby. It's the ex-husband character who's just incredibly. He is Florida man. He's not very bright. He's willing to do super dumb shit, and it's really fun. And of course, he has a bromance with one of the people in the neighborhood, which is what keeps him around. It's very Turk and JD.
Yep.
They lose him in the final season. He leaves. So just
it was less fun after that.
Honestly, yeah, the final season kind of took a hit not having Bobby around. Some of the crossover characters for Scrubs fans. So they bring back Ted, and he still plays Ted. He's trying to go by Buck now because he's Ted Buckland, and he thinks Buck is just a stronger name. But they bring back Ted. Unfortunately, him and Gooch don't work out because Gooch leaves him for Hooch. And it was just so obvious. We all should have seen it coming. And there was nothing he could do about it because Hooch is crazy.
Yep. Did that actually happen in universe?
Yes. Scrubs and Cougar Town take place in the same universe, and he is still Ted Buckland, who leaves the hospital after he breaks up with Gooch and goes to Hawaii.
The actors that are actually from Scrubs aren't the same characters.
So there is one point, because Ted does a few episodes on the show, and his band even comes in.
Okay.
Same actors.
Okay,
all of them.
Cool.
And at one point, so Elliot makes a small appearance in a few episodes dating Bobby, and Ted is just standing there staring at her, and another actress who played Jordan, who is a series regular, she's in every episode.
Yep.
And he's sitting on the couch staring, and they're like, "What's your problem?" And he's like, "You both just look like people that I used to work with. You even act like people that I used to work with." And it's at that point that Bob Kelso, who plays the grandfather in this show, comes down the stairs, and he starts freaking out at the sight of Kelso, who's not Kelso, but then somebody brings in a pizza, and it's Zach Braff delivering a pizza, which panics him more. He falls over and slams against the wall, and the pool boy cleaning the pool opens the door and goes, "Hey man, are you okay? Concussion 5," and it's the Todd.
So they did a whole little like nod. That's
they
crazy.
acknowledge all of it, but he is the only character who is truly a returning character. So Jordan is back. She plays Ellie, the still honestly very Jordan-esque best friend. She's really stern and mean, and people are afraid of her. The actor who played Bob Kelso comes back. He plays Chick. He's Courtney Cox's dad. Very different for him. He plays a kind of Southern rancher, not quite a good old boy, but more like a down home boy kind of thing.
Okay.
And what I like is I know the actor is actually going through pretty severe Alzheimer's. They give the character Alzheimer's and really work with that on there, which I thought was really great. Do you remember he played one of the rando doctors in Scrubs? It wasn't Mick Head. He was the tall, creepy one who kept trying to get Jordan and Dr. Cox to come and swing at his house.
Yeah, it was. I know who he is. He's been in a bunch of other shit.
So he's a series regular in this, playing a neurosurgeon whose wife passed away. I don't think he is the same character, but I think it is supposed to be very similar on purpose. He starts off as a side character and becomes a series regular.
Okay.
And then there's lots of like Elliot comes in, or there's other like drop-in actors. Though other than the one small cameo from Zach Braff, no Zach Braff, no Donald Faison.
Yeah.
No Donald Faison at all.
Oh, he doesn't show up at all?
No, not at all. So now that you have the image up, I gotta call out one person. I actually just love her from a lot of stuff she's done, but Busy Phillips is in the show as sort of the hip younger friend. If anybody had ever seen, it's not. I keep wanting to call it Dazed and Confused. Freaks and Geeks. So she played the stone-out burner girl, sort of opposite Linda Cardellini, who was already friends with James Franco and Seth Rogen. Mm-hmm. I really like Busy Phillips. She usually gets typecast as like a hard-ass bitch, so this was a nice departure from that for her. I don't know, honestly, started off as one of those things where I was like, I'm mostly watching it to get the references, and ended up really enjoying the show. It's very quick. It's very funny. It's only 6 seasons. I realize only 6 seasons. Like, come on. But it is really fun. The title cards become really fun. The show is very self-aware, even to the point where there's a title card that says, "I swear this isn't the Simpsons gag. I swear this isn't the Simpsons gag. I swear this isn't the Simpsons gag." The show knows what it's doing. It's very aware at all points. It relies really heavily on that quick, quirky kind of dialogue. Courtney Cox is not playing a super Courtney Cox character. She's kind of dumb. She kind of plays a fucking, like, not like an airhead idiot, more just like, no, she just doesn't get that. She just doesn't understand what people are talking about. Often. Okay. She's constantly like fucking up words and phrases, but everybody around her gets it and exploits that on her. Like at one point they go to LA and she keeps wanting to visit the labia tar pits. And they're like, you know what you should do is you should go ask those people directions to the labia tar pits. Maybe talk to them about how sticky it is.
That's funny.
Yeah, I gotta say, walked into it really thinking, I'll probably just like scoot through this and file it away in the back of my mind. Ended up being very enjoyable. Really solid show.
Okay. Actually, that brings me directly into what I was going to talk about, but give it a rating.
The last season did hurt it.
Oh, damn that, Bobby.
The ending was very... Damn it, Bobby. The ending was fairly solid. Didn't love it, but didn't hate it. Wasn't terrible. Mm-hmm. Let's go with a solid... Man... It's right in between a 3.5 and a 3.4. Call it like a 3.8.
Okay.
It's not quite good enough for a solid 4 because of, the bad name. And honestly, the name hurts it. It really does harm the show calling it Cougar Town. It's true for season 1. She goes through her like couple of younger boy toys, but it ends really quick and the character is never truly comfortable with it. Not to mention, it's only one character. No one. There's one side character who does it. None of the other main characters do that. Um, weak last season, and just not like I couldn't look back on every episode and go, "Fuck, there's a nugget of gold in every single episode." There's weak points, so I'd say, but what's there and what is good is really really good. So yeah, let's go 3-8.
Okay, okay. I like. Would you watch it again? Like rewatch the show? Because there's some shows I just won't rewatch.
Only recently there's been a few shows that I watched and then I immediately rewatched. So there is a new high bar. This
Okay.
definitely is not something I'm going to put on in the next handful of months or a year. But if there's a dead zone of stuff to watch, I might throw this
Like,
on.
would you
I,
watch it after the next time you do another Scrubs run through? Because
I was just gonna say I might do this before doing another Scrubs run through, just because I've done Scrubs so many times, and this hits that similar note without being more Scrubs.
Yep, that's true. Is it more Scrubs than the last season of Scrubs?
You know, probably.
Because that was a different production company at that point, right?
Was it
Last
not Doozer anymore? I think it was still Doozer.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just either the
I'll
producer or
look that
the
up really
writer.
quick. Doozer Productions. Let's see. So that last season was 8 or 9
I
of
think it was
Scrubs.
9.
Let's
But
see.
don't take my word for it, because it was. It was.
They produced Scrubs 2001 to 2010.
Okay. Well, and it was season 9.
Yep.
Looks like.
Which started in March of 2010. So yeah, no, that was still Doozer.
I thought because I had watched a Q&A with the cast during a reunion, and the writer was, maybe it was the showrunner, was saying that something about the last season of Scrubs and how they didn't bring him in, but he said it as like an under his breath kind of talking shit kind of thing.
Well, and yeah, it might have just been that he wasn't in charge of it anymore. So that's Bill Lawrence. He is the head of Doozer. And yeah, he might not have been the head of the final season of Scrubs. I would buy that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, actually, I can see it right here. Only the first episode seems to be written by Bill Lawrence, where in previous seasons he seems to have done more than an episode each. So maybe it was more of a case of that. Going back, I've softened on the final season of Scrubs, and I think we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Originally, it was abject hatred. Now, I think it was more of a misstep of not fully changing the name. It should have been called Scrubs Medical School, or Scrubs The Next Generation, or Scrubs-a-Dubs, or literally fucking anything else.
They could have Degrassi'd that shit.
They could have Degrassi'd that shit. I tell you, I'm finally into the Netflix season of Degrassi.
Oh boy.
There's 5 of them. I didn't know Netflix did 5 seasons.
Wow, neither did I. I thought they maybe did 1 or 2.
I thought they were canceled after 2. I had even heard they were canceled. It's current. People are waiting on season 6 of the Netflix run.
I guess it's good. Maybe.
It's the
I don't know.
same kids.
Oh.
Yeah, well, at least from the last 2 seasons, the freshmen from 2 seasons ago are still the main cast through season 5. And I kind of scrubbed ahead just to see if I had accidentally watched them before, and I hadn't. And it looks like it ends with them finally graduating. So I'm wondering if season 6
I thought you were like, and
the
bus they were on goes off a cliff.
I'd watch that season. I'd watch that season.
You'd want to write that season.
I would love to write that season.
The first episode, Buzz goes off the fucking cliff, and then you do a fucking time back to get to
Yes.
Yep.
Because we have to make it hurt.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you just fucking boom. First episode of that last season, Buzz goes off that cliff, and then you do a fucking time back.
Yeah, and then we go over why it's such a goddamn tragedy.
Yup. You make it a happy season. There's drama, but it's mostly a happy season.
Yeah, a lot of tales of self-redemption and people finding themselves and making peace with each other.
This is senior year. People are starting to mature a little bit more. They're letting go of that shit. And
Dear Canada, please let me write the next season. I assume it's up to all of Canada.
Even better, you don't show which kids were on the bus.
Oh yeah, no. You just see the bus go off, and then it's all about which kids were. Because of course, like everybody thinks, oh, well, everyone's on the bus. Then like 2 to 3 episodes towards the last one, oh man, we gotta get 2 buses.
Or my mom didn't let me go on the trip or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but did they sneak on anyways?
Yeah.
No. Right? Yeah. No, guys, please, somebody call Canada. I'm sure they have a phone number.
Yep.
Somebody just call Canada and let's.
Hey, I called Canada recently and they recommended this really great show. Have you seen Letterkenny?
I have. I've actually watched through all of it twice.
Okay, so
since the pandemic,
I was drunk and baked when I saw parts of it, and I passed out. But I'd wake up for a really good joke. Like my cousin was like, and then you just wake up and be like, and then just pass right back out. I guess I was half watching it or something.
I'm a little disappointed you grabbed an image that still has Devin instead of Roldy in it.
I just grabbed an older whatever image was available.
Yeah,
we produced this 5 minutes before we go live. Just saying.
A lot of production quality goes into these guys.
Yep. But yeah, no, this was one of the original ones. So I had heard about this, but no one really explained the premise to me.
You gotta admit, it's a hard premise to explain. It's almost slice of life.
It is, but it isn't. It is right. It's a slice of life about, they call themselves Hicks. In Canada, which is, but we're talking about more country folk, not rednecks.
Small town Canada.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, when we talk about, they call themselves Hicks, and they're in Canada. In the U.S., we have, like, people call them rednecks, but it's not that. That's a certain type. These are just country folk. Like, they live in small towns.
Right.
They probably work on their ranch. Like, they're just folks that live in the country, but in Canada, and you get to see a lot of stereotypes where you can tie them to certain stereotypes in the U.S. of, like, the type of the character types you see on farms and people and stuff. I think they do really, really good character acting and developing the characters and giving them an arc. I'm up to season fucking 5. I went on a binge, but yeah, I like that. I think it's great. It's weird though that it's turned on its ear to a ridiculous level. This isn't slice of life in the sense that you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. This is slice of life in the sense that, like, it's just about how they go. Sorry, it's just about how they go about their days. I said
yeah,
a few times. So it's great, but it's really cranked up. You can tell that, like, either a lot of the stuff is ad-libbed and then hats off, or the writers and the actors are fucking on point.
It's one of those ones that's a loose script.
That's what I figured, because you just have to, like, they're riffing. A lot of the kind of pacing that these conversations go through are conversations that Devin and I have had. Like, that's what is fucking hilarious. Like, we've literally done this. Sometimes him and I get into write-off battles.
One of my favorite bits actually is where one of the characters introduces the idea that his girlfriend. So they're all playing catch. It's a 3-way game of catch out in the yard. Everybody throwing the ball to everybody. And one of the characters introduces the idea that his girlfriend might sneak a pinky into his butthole. Uh-huh. And immediately the other 2 characters turn and stop playing catch with him. It just immediately becomes a 2-man game of catch. And then, of course, he's standing there and trying to justify his position, and their game of catch just becomes more aggressive as they are trying to drown him out in their game of catch back and forth.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of things. It's about not even how they're saying it. It's truly about what they're saying, the conversations they're having, the extremes they go to. Very well done.
To be fair, though, it is...
To be fair.
Yeah, exactly. That fucking gag just keeps escalating. It's great. Um, but it's very Scott Pilgrim.
A little bit, yeah.
Like you've got this weird, like, yes, it's life, but there's these just elements that are kind of over exaggerated.
Oh, well, and you know how it got started, right?
No idea. Okay, if I had to guess, I feel like some of these guys had to have been in some sort of theater group or some comedy troupe together. No.
No. This is one of those rare occasions of a Twitter feed becoming a show and just being good. The Twitter feed was called Letterkenny Problems, and so that cold open they do, so you're hanging out with your friends the other day. So the Twitter feed was just that. So you're hanging out with your friends, and then this happens, Letterkenny Problems, which was, you could really translate Letterkenny Problems to being small town problems.
I get
and
that.
That's what made it kind of catch so well.
Which is weird because, like, shit my dad says fucking tanked from what I understand.
Wasn't 8 Simple Rules a Twitter one, though?
I 8 Simple Rules is a lot older than you think.
Is it? I thought that was started. Talk Letterkenny, I'm going to look.
But anyways, so, okay, I'm really surprised because these actors really play well off of each other. Like,
So the main guy was in LA and was trying to do the LA acting thing, and it didn't work, and he went home, and then he started the Twitter, and it picked up.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no, it's very interesting. I am gonna fuck up all their names, but the squirrely guy, the big
Squirrely Dan.
Oh man,
who is a stand-up professionally.
I got that from the episode where they do the talent show.
Yes,
and it's some of the latest.
When they ask him about what his favorite stand-up is, the stand-up he describes is him.
Yeah. So I caught on that, and then at the end he's like, "What? This is easy."
Yeah.
As he's walking off the stage, yeah, I figured. I was like, "Yeah, no, homie just does comedy." Like, I get that. No, it's great. I kind of fucking like almost everything about it. I just have 2 complaints. Some of the gags go on for a little too long. Where they're riffing off of each other, and I understand what's happening, but it's really cool when that's spontaneous. So you hit it once or twice, but after a while, it just, oh my god, I'm starting to skip scenes because of that.
Shows started off of Twitter. It looks like 8 Simple Rules was not started off of Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think I know which one you're thinking about, but I don't remember at the moment.
Shit my dad says was absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm season 5. I'm in season 5. I feel like the characters have grown. I keep wondering why people are disappearing off of the show, so I'm looking it up, and apparently actors just kind of dropped in and out for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. I didn't realize this was so fucking popular because it's getting a spin-off.
The show started off really popular in Canada, and then even they were shocked to find out that people in the US were stealing it because it wasn't playing here. So people were downloading it, and that's when they struck the Hulu deal. Hulu were the first ones to bring it to the US.
Wow. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's just, oh my god. But yeah, the spinoff is called Shoresy. We've never seen his face, and apparently I didn't know this, so spoiler, I guess. It's the main fucking character.
He's both the actor, like for the body, even though they never show the face, and he is the voice. It's really just him doing this. This is the whole Shoresy voice.
Yeah.
No. He just hikes it up a little bit.
Well, I understood that I thought it was like the director, the producer.
Actually, the director is the priest.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they release them out of order?
I don't believe so.
Because some of them, the characters almost seem to like warp forward and back.
Um, any of the holiday specials are considered out of order or even non-canon. So Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, I think they did a Canadian Thanksgiving one. I don't remember. But yeah, Halloween, all of the holidays are out of order or sort of non-canon.
Okay, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense because sometimes like something really dramatic would happen the episode before, and then everybody acted like nothing had happened in the next episode. I'd be like, what in the fuck?
A lot of times you also have to pay really close attention to subtle things that happen in the opening or in the cold open.
Yeah.
Because they will resolve things very quickly in the cold open.
That I definitely caught, right? But sometimes the cold openings just come off like non sequiturs, so you can tell when it's a non sequitur.
Yeah,
versus
I love the alphabetical ones though. Those are fantastic.
That's fucking hilarious, and you could tell that they did a bunch of goes at it. Because one of them, like, he almost makes it all the way to Z and he fucks it up at the end, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're going with it." No, I thought it was hilarious. I gotta say that the was it a Gale character?
Gale's amazing.
She's fucking weird, but it like I love it. She knows what she's about.
Yep.
Right? Like she's not hiding, she's not fronting. Like
Gale's here for it.
Fuck yeah.
Riley and Jonesy really bugged me on my first watch, and then going back, I actually love Riley and Jonesy. Their arc is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly.
And I love that they still can't get the main character's credit. He still only tolerates them. He does not actually like either of them. He still doesn't know their names.
That's true.
9, even at the end of season 9, he has no clue what their names are.
Well, because they're the dudes that banged his sister. Why would he want to know them?
Right.
Yeah, no, I get it. By the way, they were annoying until they got broken up with. I feel like that gave them enough character growth.
Yep.
Once you get through that part, you're like, okay, whatever. But the exchanges between Wayne and his friends and those two are fucking epic.
Yeah, Wayne Dale and Squirrely Dan are pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Many a times I'm actually just fucking cackling because not just how they say it, the pacing, the comedic timing is everything.
This shit is paced like
show.
Gilmore Girls sometimes, where they are just delivering the dialogue rapid fire.
Yep. And I'm all about it. I love it. But because it's a show that makes you watch. Mm-hmm. You have to watch. I've had to rewind shit because I was like, I fucking missed this whole. It was 2 lines, but it was super fucking important to this next scene. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to rewind it. The fucking burnouts. I'm fucking
the degens.
Oh my god, I went to high school with a bunch of those.
You fucking lived with a few of them.
Oh my god, dude. It's just
still my favorite one-liner, and I can't wait to use it out in the wild. But at one point, somebody goes, there's starving kids. There's millions of starving kids all over the world. He just goes, yeah, name 5.
Actually, to be fair,
so quick.
Fair, yeah. It's just fucking hilarious, because they do that gag, and we do that gag, right? Like it's just part of what we do. The reason this fucking works for us is it's very much our style of writing, and very much it's fantastic. It speaks to me. However, I don't think that it's for everybody, because the second thing I didn't like, where I thought it was like I didn't like it not because it was terrible. I didn't like it because I thought it would turn people off of the show.
Okay.
Like if my wife was watching it, she would like the shit talking, all that. But once you get into those like really long, they just play music and the characters are just being fucking weird. They do like certain of that stuff. Like
a lot of the fight scenes are like that.
The dance off. The fight scenes, I understand why they're doing that, but it's like the dance off or where their characters are just being like super fucking weird. It's more absurdist humor, and it breaks it for me. But I understand it. I'm like, I get why they do it, because you get little bits of stuff there too.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of matter, like somebody gets hit or like a look or something, and it pays off later.
Yeah.
So it's well done. I understand why they're doing it. Not my favorite, but whatever. I would give this a honestly, I'd probably give this a solid 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Like, it is. I haven't hit. This hasn't hit as much, like, since like Community, honestly.
And just more for my sake of timeline, who are all the girls that Wayne has dated as far in as you are?
So he just broke up with Rosie, and he gave it another go with Tanis, the good old college try, and he met the French girl that they left on the cliffhanger that they couldn't have. But I just watched the Christmas episode, so I guess it'll be resolved next. That's what I was talking about. I was like,
yeah. So the Christmas episode is definitely out of order because he's suddenly back with Tanis, even though the Tanis thing is sort of not happening, sort of happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I left off. I'm at that Christmas episode.
Did you ever watch what was it called? It was the Netflix horror TV show about the werewolf and the vampire and the Frankenstein girl.
No.
Hold on.
Not Netflix one, because there's like Vampire Diaries?
Hemlock Grove.
Oh no, I did not see that actually.
Hemlock Grove was okay, but Tanis is in it. She plays I realize that this is not the preferred vernacular these days, but it's what they refer to her as in the show. She plays a gypsy girl.
Okay. Yeah. I think most of the actors are fucking on point, because it is very much like you have to be this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, Wayne is always fucking squinting. It's almost a goddamn joke.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the, if you can go, honestly, they have so many great YouTube bloopers or just like interviews with the cast because the show's huge. One of my favorite is they go around and they ask all the characters what the thing that is yelled to them on the street the most. And both Roldy and Stuart have the same thing, and it's Stuart. they can't walk down the street without people just going Stuart.
It was annoying at first, but I get it, because this is the best part. The actor is portraying the emotion through how he says the fucking line.
Mm-hmm. Stuart,
and he's doing a fantastic job at it.
Yeah,
like the writing is on point, and he's fucking killing it. Like, he's a really weird character, but you have to hit that character right, or else it takes away from the show. And he is fucking killing it.
Yep.
Like that's the only thing that I can 100% say. Like, every actor is fucking delivering.
Yeah, nobody comes in and doesn't bring their goddamn A game.
Yeah, for sure. There's
even like the two randos. What is it? Joint Boy and MMA,
Dan?
whatever.
Dan.
Yeah.
Joint Boy and Dan.
Apparently, those guys are actually like champion level MMA fighters.
Oh yeah, I know. I recognize them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's random.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's hilarious. They don't pretend to be anything else.
No.
Right? It's fucking great. And sometimes you can see that they're about to break, but that's how their characters would act as well. Because they're like, they're probably the most normal out of the whole fucking group.
Weirdly,
and that's what's hilarious, because they're almost like guests on the show.
Yeah.
Right? So no,
there are a few characters that don't just become series regulars. Few.
Yeah, the one that I was really ashamed didn't come back was the character named Gay.
Gay comes back.
Well, she again, it's probably going to be resolved, right? But she just came back for one episode. I thought it was going to be a one and done.
Gay comes back.
Does she get worse or better as a character?
Gay comes back. That's all I can say. Gay comes back.
Well then, it's cool. My wife's out of town, so I'm just gonna go back to watching it. I've been trying to play video games, but I'm hooked on this fucking show.
Yeah, and you can't not pay attention. You've got to watch the show.
Exactly. Like normally
Yeah.
I'd put it on my fucking iPad and play video games, but no, I have to be fucking like, what am I doing?
And it's worth watching.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, 4.5. Anything else to say? You said that there's little cartoon shorts.
Yeah, I haven't watched those yet. I probably will eventually, but I haven't dove into Little Letterkenny.
Okay.
That's what it's called, Little Letterkenny, because they're all kids in it.
Yeah, yeah. I figured, but it's animated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Hulu's got them all.
I saw it on Hulu. I'm sure it's on YouTube too.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
I'd have a beer.
I like that too.
Get this guy a fucking puppers.
I kept thinking it was like a puppy because he needed to fucking care about something else because being weird.
No, Puppers is the beer and Gus and Brew is the whiskey.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I'd like an explanation on some of the rituals because I feel like it would make more sense if I was Canadian, but
I honestly think some of like their drinking rituals and stuff are made for the show and just how like small towns, small groups develop. They have it's less about what the ritual is and more about having the ritual.
Yeah,
I think fair. I could be wrong, but that's sort of my take on it.
We don't fight at weddings.
We don't fight at weddings.
And now that I keep thinking back, have I ever gone in a fight in a wedding? And no, I have not.
Nope.
Seems like inappropriate.
Right.
I don't get in a fight at a wedding or a funeral.
No. Except for maybe an Irish funeral.
I mean, no, just the Irish wake part, not the funeral.
Fair.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a fight in a churchyard.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
So you're watching some other shit. What did you end up watching?
So really late night, my wife was also out of town, and so I was really planning on like sitting up super late and watching horror movies. So I sat up with our normal D&D group playing games all Saturday. It was like 12:30 when we finally ended, and I was pretty drunk, and I was like, man, I'm really just not in the mood for like some hard horror right now. I just wasn't feeling it. So instead I popped on a movie Netflix had really been shoving down my throat for a while, and I'm glad it did. The Mitchells versus the Machines. So looking into the movie a little bit more, there's a reason that Netflix was really trying to shove this down my throat. It's an well, I shouldn't say it's an Alex Hirsch movie. More, it seems like it's one of those situations where somebody wrote a script and they went, man, we're so close to having something, but it's not quite there yet. And so they called in Alex Hirsch as a writing consultant. Mm-hmm. Which you and I both know means he punched that motherfucker up and made it halfway decent.
Yeah.
But Alex Hirsch is the creator of a show I talk about all the time, Gravity Falls. So he came in, he did punch up, and even did a voice for this movie. And god damn it, if I did not like laugh out loud and hard several times throughout this show. Really, it's a very simple premise. Somebody designs the next version of the iPad, which is a fully functioning robot, but he pisses off the AI, and the AI decides to destroy humanity. Meanwhile, a very, very quirky family is on a road trip to bond one last time while they take their angsty teen daughter to film school. She feels like her dad doesn't understand her, and so there's tension in the family, and then chaos and ridiculous ensue. It's a very simple premise that honestly is landed by not only how bizarre and quirky the characters are, but how well the cast lands these characters and how just willing to be fucking weird the show is. Like,
that's funny.
The humor style is not at all ashamed to suddenly throw on cutesy filters or throw emojis floating through the background or have random like anime breakouts to do things. There's suddenly live action bits mixed in with all of the digital animated bits. Like, It's just going.
Oh, that's weird.
It's just going for whatever's going to land the humorous punch, and it
Okay.
works. I gotta say, hands down, my two. Well, man, it's really hard to say. I'd say in this order, my favorite characters: the younger brother, the dog, and the broken robots are all fantastic. The younger brother is obsessed with dinosaurs and just has these weird bits where he like breaks into dinosaur, I guess. Like as horrible as an explanation of that is, I can't give you a better one, and it works. So this shit fucks, bro.
Is it a
This
show
shit
or a
fucks.
movie?
Movie.
Okay.
One and done movie. Little long, running almost 2 hours.
Oof.
So
Okay.
I actually broke it up into two chunks because it was late as fuck, and I made it like halfway through, and I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm drunk. But watched
that's
it
weird
so
that we do that now.
watched it sober the next day and still laughed my ass off. So it was absolutely not a product of me being a little drunk while watching it. The movie holds its own. It is funny. It is
Okay.
very funny. It's funny enough that Danny McBride is in this movie, still made me laugh. And I don't like Danny McBride. I don't think he's funny at all. You have to Google who Danny McBride
I'm
is right
doing
now,
that.
don't you?
I think I know. Eastbound and Down.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like.
I
him
don't
either.
find him funny.
Neither do I. To be fair, though, I didn't think Pineapple Express was that good. Crucify.
I like Pineapple Express. He's the worst part of it.
I honestly think like it wasn't as funny as people made it out to be.
No, but nothing ever. Honestly, that's what killed It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for me the first few times I watched it. You can't if you've never seen It's Always Sunny, do not watch it with a current fan. Because a current fan will laugh at shit that isn't funny. They will insist that every episode is better than the last episode. They believe it's infinite escalation. Watching It's Always Sunny with fans of It's Always Sunny made me go, this is fucking stupid and you're idiots. Where I had to go back and rewatch the show and then go, oh, it's just massively overinflated. It is a very funny show, and a show that I was very harsh on, but only because it was painted with this picture of like, this is the funniest, greatest thing ever made. And really, it's just a very funny show.
So what
That's
you're
it.
saying is that I need to give It's Always Sunny a fucking second chance?
Yeah, and like anything these days, unfortunately, you can't judge it off the first 2-3 episodes. You have to make it a clip into the show before you really start to get into it. But the show is funny. It is. It has just these random bits where you go, oh wow, that's so dark or so clever. It's also another one that is almost entirely ad-libbed.
Okay.
The scripts are very loose. It's more, here's what we cover in this scene, go. Which makes for some interesting dialogue pulls. No, it is a good show, but literally don't be near anybody who likes the show when you watch it. They will fucking ruin it. Mitchell's versus the Machines. So Danny McBride playing just a typical outdoorsy father. He's not Danny McBriding all over this role.
Okay.
The
good.
daughter is played by the same voice actress who plays Bean from Disenchanted.
Okay.
The mother is Maya Rudolph. Google her. You will know her the minute you see her.
Of course. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I like honestly, it's a family-friendly, like wholesome kind of comedy. But it just works. The characters are all just quirky enough to be really endearing. The plot is very sweet. The humor, like I said, is totally willing to go from 0 to a bleen tuple. It doesn't even bother hitting a number. It just does shit. It just does whatever it feels like
I
doing
kind of want
whenever
to
it
watch
does
it
it.
now, but I don't know that I can give 2 hours tonight to this.
I'd say split it in half, honestly. And the plot is sectioned up enough to where you'll hit a point where you go, I can stop here and pick it up.
It's just a good intermission.
No, seriously, and it's totally worth doing. I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm gonna go ahead, solid 4 out of 5.
Okay. Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty high.
Alex Hirsch is just cementing why he's such a good writer. Gravity Falls wasn't a fluke. He's not a one and done. Apparently, he has a new show on Netflix that I haven't watched yet. I'm going to give it a shot before I say anything more. I want to give it a shot. I don't want people flocking to it and going like, "He said so." I'll ping it to you.
All right, fair enough.
Have you watched Gravity Falls yet?
I have watched it, unfortunately, in a really weird order, but yeah, I've seen it all.
Okay. Did you like it?
Oh, it was fucking fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, it's so good. Solid movie. Really happy with it, and really this makes me excited for more stuff Alex Hirsch is going to do. Even though he was only punch up on it, I still feel like just like Edgar Wright and Ant-Man, he may not have been the final writer, but his thumbprint is all over.
He sprayed his essence all over it.
But I mean, seriously, that's what happened. And this is the same. Alex Hirsch is all over this movie.
But by the way, if you Google search certain terms with Gravity Falls, because you go down the story rabbit hole like I did, Rule 34 stuff shows up.
I was just gonna say that's yep, okay. I just pinged you on Slack. That's the new Netflix show, and I believe it is out already.
All right, well. Now I got shit to watch.
Finish Letterkenny.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as soon as we're finished there. I'm gonna go cook and watch Letterkenny.
Okay. I think on that note.
Yeah, on that note, we're solid. You know, one thing I gotta say, we were so fucking positive this episode. I feel like we need to hate on something. What's something that you've watched recently that's just shit? Don't explain it. Just tell it, and then we'll play us out.
You know, I haven't.
Wow. Fucking Zen master over here.
No, more just like I'm really consuming things I'm enjoying right now and haven't run into a big downer yet. Though I just finished Primal, which was amazing. I just finished Cougar Town, which I talked about. Yep. And then filling those 2 slots, I'm doing Samurai Jack, which is not going to let down. And I'm doing X-Men Evolution, which I've started a few times, but somehow just never gotten the chance to finish it. So I'm going to go through and actually finish X-Men Evolution for the first time. So, like, really just, me and my wife are watching Modern Family as, like, our go-to show.
Is that good? Because I've tried to get into it a couple of times, and I feel like some of the stuff's just not landing.
I mean, some of it doesn't, but I really like a few of the characters, and then as time goes on and they figure out all of the characters more, really there's no after like season 3 or 4, they introduced this kid. I honestly thought it had to be a little person playing a kid because of how articulate this kid is. No, this is a 5-year-old kid and is delivering dialogue way beyond a 5-year-old and delivering it perfectly. The kid cracks me the fuck up. And he is nailing like adult, well, not adult as in like foul or sex or anything, but like complex wording and no like cutesy woo woo wah wah kind of like, no, he's just delivering dialogue. It's fucking gold.
I always think it's very interesting when that happens because I'm like, what?
Yeah. And he's legitimately a 5-year-old kid at the time of filling. And he has the best IMDb picture in the world. It's him wearing a cape on the red carpet giving finger guns. The kid's gold. That kid's fucking gold.
Oh my God, Hollywood, don't ruin him.
For real. God, just don't molest one child. Jesus. There we go. On that note.
There it is. All right. Check us out Mondays, 7 to 8 Pacific on N5D Podcast. Tuesdays, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. I was going to say multiplayer night, and that's where I got stuck. And Bias Bros is on hiatus, but you can get some of the older episodes on iTunes.
Yeah, I got to figure out when he's done with his play he's doing. He's always in plays.
He is an actor.
He's an actor.
Bye.
Bye.